Wow, my dear kids, keep in mind one thing whenever humans clap, always fly high. Students can receive customized quizzes, creating a balance with human values.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to VUTV by Vijay University. It's a platform for meaningful academic conversations. Today, we are privileged to host a remarkable education leader with over 15 years of experience in transforming international schools. We have with us Dr. Nicholas Korea sir from Finland International School. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Nicholas sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us for today's session, sir.
Thank you.
Today we are discussing a very relevant question. What makes a future-ready school? Starting with the first question, I want to ask Dr. Nicholas sir, how would you define a future-ready school, sir?
Good evening, esteemed educators and leaders. It is truly an honor to be here to discuss the topic that is at the heart of modern education, what makes future ready school. First of all, let me thank Vijay University for giving me this platform to express my views on what makes the school future ready. According to Leonard Sweet, a well-known American theologian and author and professor, the future is not something we enter. The future is something we create.
Right.
We live in a world which is changing faster ever before. The students who walk through our doors today will grow into adults who must navigate a world we can only partially predict. We will not be able to see how it looks like. Automation, artificial intelligence, geopolitical shift, climate challenges, globalized workplaces, all these realities require new kind of learner. Not someone who merely memorizes content, but someone who thinks, adapts, collaborates, creates, empathizes, questions, and leads. A future ready school is not defined by shiny buildings or expensive technology. It is defined by a vision, values, culture, pedagogy, and above all, the people. Together, let us explore how schools can prepare children not just for the jobs of tomorrow, but for the life of tomorrow. When we say future ready, it is important to understand what future is likely to look like. The World Economic Forum's Future Jobs Report states that 50% of current workforce will need reskilling by 2030. The top skills predicted for the future include critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, emotional intelligence, maybe complex problem solving, adaptability, analytical thinking, resilience, leadership, social influence, and so on. Have you noticed one thing here? None of these skills refer to memorizing or textbook information. Google's Project Oxygen, which studied their top performing employees, found that the only essential competencies were communication, empathy, critical thinking, problem solving, and leadership, and not technical skills. The OECD Education 2030, that is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development framework, repeatedly emphasizes competencies such as global citizenship, ethical digital use, and transformative competencies. In short, the future belongs to learners who think, who feels, adapts, and collaborates. Therefore, the future ready schools focuses on skills, not just subjects which are taught in the classroom, builds mindsets, not just marks, encourages innovation, or not just information, develops character, not just competence. Yeah.
Lovely, sir. I think you have rightly highlighted the importance of soft skills, primarily the world economic skills which you have highlighted from the World Economic Forum, which clearly have factored in the factors of the things which are more of memorizable, or which are the things which are the knowledge which we are engulfing in terms of memorizing. is not going to be relevant in the future. Rather, uh, skills like critical thinking, analytical skills are much more relevant. I think that highlights a very important point, and the schools should start nurturing their capacity building their faculty and teachers to that certain extent. This brings to my next question, where I want to touch on. We have been seeing AI rapidly changing the ecosystem, primarily in the academia when we talk about higher education, or let's say K-12 education. Like we have seen a huge movement of shift from offline classes to online classes during the pandemic era. Then slowly and eventually schools moving out from an online to a hybrid mode of education. Then probably after a while they'll move for an offline mode of education. So when we have seen the technological adaptation in terms of let's say platforms like Zoom, what we are using right now, or Google Meet, and at the same time with integration like with generative AI tools like ChatGPT, where students are using AI more than an assistant. Like there are a lot of cases of students using AI to basically fast track their education, learn topics quite better, create concept notes, memory maps. So how do you see schools integrating AI in the in this whole process of building up a future ready school?
Yes, thanks to the pandemic for enhancing and accelerating the speed of AI.
Mm.
Artificial intelligence is no longer futuristic concept. It
Right.
is now a core part of how students learn and how teachers teach and schools operate. But meaningful integration requires a thoughtful balance of innovation, ethics, human values, and readiness. As schools move toward creating future-ready learner environment, the focus must not merely be in introducing technology,
Right.
but on integrating thoughtfully, ethically, and creating a balance with human values. AI has enormous potential to enhance teaching and learning. Yet, it's true, power depends on how responsibly and creatively schools adopt it. The coming years demands a strategic level of digital readiness from both students and educators, one that blends innovation with integrity. So innovation does not mean we just are dependent on ChatGPT or other tools.
Right.
To harness AI effectively, schools must position it as a tool that enhances rather than replaces teachers. AI can assist with lesson planning, differentiated worksheets, data driven insight, and quick assessments, allowing teachers to spend more time on concept clarity, emotional support, and creative pedagogy. Human connection remains the heart of education, while AI becomes an intelligent assistant that strengthens instructional quality. As George Couros rightly notes, technology will never replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational.
Right.
AI also supports personalized learning by adopting content to individualized strengths, needs, and
Mhm.
pace. So we have got children with different needs, and even with
Right.
the other children, those who have got the types of needs which AI can support. Students can receive customized quizzes, targeted feedback, and learning pathways aligned with their abilities. This aligns well with ethical integration is equally essential. Students must be taught AI ethics, digital footprints, privacy, cyber safety, and responsible use. Clear school policies should define acceptable AI tools, academic integrity guidelines, and data protection norms. So generally, people just copy from anywhere, and they make their content on their own. And in IB, they have got one concept called academic integrity, and that is very important schools adopt. This helps maintain trust among parents, teachers, and students, ensuring safe and transparent use of technology. As the balanced approach is crucial to prevent over dependence, AI must complement and not overshadow critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication, which generally happens today. Younger children, especially, need hands on social learning experiences. Ultimately, a future ready school is one that uses AI meaningfully and responsibly while preserving the human essence of education.
Right. I think you have clearly highlighted and the approach which you have taken in terms of understanding ki how balanced ways in ethically we can quickly integrate AI. I also love one aspect which you had highlighted ki I think it's also much more relevant for the future job market as well. AI is not going to replace teachers or any other mundane like AI is not going to replace the creative fields. We say that repetitive when there are repetitive tasks, these jobs are going to be replaced by AI. But the person who doesn't know AI is going to be replaced. I think that's how like that's the essence you had mentioned about the teachers are not going to be replaced by AI. But if they effectively use AI tools, then they are not going to be replaced. I think that's a
That is
beautiful integration.
reskilling, and learning. That's very important.
Reskilling. Certainly, certainly. I think reskilling, I think this is also a relevance for anyone. Like if your learning curve is not upwards, then probably I have read a very famous proverb which talking about if you're not learning, then you are in the verge of dying. So I think that stays relevant for this particular era as well. And you all mentioned about the special needs. So when we use AI tools much more effectively, it's going to highlight how different pedagogy and learning outcomes, different learning modules can be designed for different inclined or different pace of different pace of learners. So for different pace of learners, we can have different modules, different learning plans. I think with the use of AI, that can make it more accessible and it can make it easier for the teachers and the educators to facilitate to the learners. I think there's a good points which you have highlighted. Also, sir, like I just wanted to because you had highlighted a very important essence. Schools should take a necessary step to sensitize the students about using AI. So, if you have to, as an head of school, is there anything you practice in your school which is much more relevant for the students to use tools like Chat GPT and all to judiciously? Like, what is a major on outcome you have done in your school? I would love to know that. We would love to know that.
Let me start with a small story.
Yeah.
There are mosquitoes breeded up baby mosquitoes, and as they grew up, they wanted to go on a flight because other mosquitoes were flying. They also wanted to fly. They request the parent mosquitoes, "We want to fly. We want to go on a flight." The parent mosquitoes were apprehensive. Said, "No, you are small. You need to grow. You learn. Be patient, and gradually you will learn." The baby mosquitoes were restless. They said, "We want to go on a flight." Ultimately, the parent mosquitoes relented. They said, "Okay, go on a flight." In the morning, they left somewhere in the afternoon. In the
Right.
evening, the baby mosquitoes come back. And parent mosquitoes ask the baby mosquitoes, "How's the flight?" The baby mosquitoes say, "Mom, Dad, wow, human beings were clapping everywhere we went. Everyone was clapping for us." And parent mosquitoes understood what exactly that clapping was. And they, without discouraging the baby mosquito, said, "Wow, my dear kids, keep in mind one thing. Whenever humans clap, always fly high." So encouragement, that is a good practices. How do we introduce good practices? It should be always with positivity. One of the things we keep in our school also is introducing anything with sensitization. When we sensitize children, sensitize teachers, so positivity automatically comes. So anything we bring apprehension, fear, or certain negative feelings, So the good practice takes a backseat. Then children, when your good practice is introduced, so they have a fear. Am I going to use it in a right way? Am I going to succeed? So there are a lot of apprehension. So we also prepare the mind of the children. You fail, it is okay. Even in AI or any other good thing, any other good practice, fail. Through failing, we'll learn. And when sometimes there are also damages, losses, so we need to even adjust with that, because when children learn, there are going to be mistakes. So we should not discourage children when they fail. Failing is not defeat, it is part of a success, it is a step. So this is helping you how to go ahead. So this is how we teach our children good practices. We also come out with projects with the children when we give certain projects. We have got in grade 9th to 12th, we have got internship, a week long internship which children have to go for a week during their vacation. So they have to go on a work. So it can be some places. We also suggest some of the firms where they will be working, and they can also go on their own. They can go to any NGO, any bank, any corporate office. So they will be working there for a few hours, and they learn how the working environment is. And if some places it is also paid internship, they pay a certain amount. So it is not necessary they need to be paid, but what is important is they learn from the environment. And we found that one thing, as they come back, as they give their report, they say that when you go to office, one thing we learn, the punctuality is very important. Punctuality, what is seen there, and punctuality, what we follow, has a lot of difference. Here we see a timetable where there's guidance, but their punctuality, if it is done today, it should be done today. It's not tomorrow. So
Right,
here,
right, right.
if a certain mistake is done, certain things are not provided. But teacher gives one more window open. Okay, you submit it tomorrow. Again, there is a reminder.
Mm.
In office, we don't find such reminders. So you
Right,
have to
Swami.
submit.
Yeah.
So it's again experiential learning. So we make even in school experiential learning not only for the concepts. So if you go to our Vedic education, Gurukula education, it's more of experiential learning. They were with a
Mm.
teacher. They used to learn through experience, household work, not only about academics, but also about household. So today it is very important how to live a life, because children have forgotten what is basic needs of the children, how they need to help their parents at home, maybe in the kitchen, all chores at home. Uh, Many of them forgotten, but it is very important for future ready schools. We need to keep them, because countries like America, you see, as they go there in higher education, they say when children go from here to there, they say they need to do everything, but in India they were not used to. So when we keep them ready, when they go to such places, our school practices, which are part of our curriculum, helps them. So we need to integrate such good practices into our curriculum.
Lovely, lovely, sir. I think the mention of the positive reinforcement of sensitizing something like integrating chat gpt or AI tools to the suggesting the students that it's not going to replace the teachers, it's not going to replace your curriculum, it's going to assist you to learn better. The positive reinforcement part is a good opportunity. And also you have mentioned ki how does future ready curriculum for the schools going to look like. It's going to be more experiential. The highlight of job shadowing or going for an internship for a week long, understanding a particular career. And I think the simple details about what you had highlighted, keep being punctual to deadlines. Like you can't, like you can make excuses to a teacher because like I was unwell, I couldn't do my homework. But you can't give excuses to your manager or boss because there are a lot of dependencies in terms of client based dependencies where a lot of stakes are where the stakes are high. So I think that's a very good highlight, and students also understand in a better way when they are in the real setting. So like the aspect of experiential education what you have highlighted is quite impressive. I think for a lot of the educators who are joining us today or who are going to listen us on our YouTube platform, it's a nice takeaway of integrating internship based modules during their a course of journey which helps the students to understand the future careers better. Now, this brings to my next part of the question, because we have highlighted a subsequent amount of how future-ready schools look like, or the curriculum going to look like. What kind of development we are going to do for the teachers? Because teachers are the heart of any school. Okay, what kind of teacher development we need to look for schools to stay future-ready, especially with AI, changing student needs, career needs, and the evolving pedagogies?
It's a very important and essential question. It's
Yeah.
very even to my heart. For schools to remain future ready, teacher and faculty development must evolve. It
Okay.
cannot be for just a traditional workshops which we attend generally. It should go beyond the workshops, ongoing, holistic, and dynamic process. The training should become, it is an ongoing process. The rapid rise of technology, changing learning needs, and global educational shift demand teachers to grow as continuous learners and adaptive thinkers and innovative practitioners. And also, future ready school requires future ready educators. It is
Right.
not only we are preparing the schools to make future ready schools, we need to have future ready educators. Only then the schools are going to be meaningful. First, the
Certainly.
teacher development must prioritize digital competence, which is already happening today, but it should be more than that. Teachers should be confident in using digital tools, AI assisted platforms, learning management systems, data analytics to enhance instruction. This does not mean just turning teachers into technicians. It's rather, it means enabling them to use technology meaningfully for lesson design, differentiation, assessment, personalized learning, support, and so on. Teachers also can make a lot of personalized worksheets for the children in the meantime. Uh, Equally essential is pedagogical innovation. Teachers must be equipped to use inquiry based learning, collaborative tasks, project based methodologies, interdisciplinary approaches, professional development, and should train teachers to design learning experience. When I say interdisciplinary, using mathematics, geography, and so on. For example, if you're taking maybe you give a project to the children, maybe on developing a smart city, maybe in maths, we can teach them how to budget. Maybe in geography, we can give them how to use the land, how to do the land use. Maybe in civics, we can have this public services and languages, the presentation. So we are integrating all the subjects into one. So what is the topic? Planning the smart cities. How do we integrate all the subjects? That's very important. Without integration, without interdisciplinary method, things are not going to work. And the world does not
Certainly.
work in mathematics, science, and geography.
Yeah.
It's all integrated. So ongoing development must foster ethical AI and also academic integrity. Teachers should understand how to guide students in responsible technology use. Because as long as teachers don't understand responsible use of technology, that to AI, they'll not be able to guide students. What is that? What is the integrity in AI or integrity in their academic use? Most important thing is teachers' development should be continuous rather than just and it should be a peer collaboration, coaching, reflective, and it should be professional learning community. There should be professional learning communities. A group of teachers come together. They share their views. There are a lot of online platforms where teachers can build their own learning communities. Schools must create a culture where educators feel empowered, experiment and learn, unlearn and evolve. In essence, future ready schools are built by future ready teachers, of
Right.
professionals who blend technology with humanity, innovation with values, and knowledge with lifelong learning.
Certainly. I think that's a great summarize of what kind of future ready teachers going to look like. And with your experience, you have panned out the clear measure. How does a teacher should be prepared for basically taking care of future ready learners? So I think that's a great highlight. Also, like because you have an experience leading several international schools, what do you suggest for leadership practices in terms of the governing board of a school? What kind of measures or practices they should incorporate to build a school which is ready for the next decade?
Yes, this is also very leadership is the backbone of any organization. For that
Certainly, sir. Yeah.
matter, for entire life, even
Right.
we as individual. So we also are leaders for ourselves. First of all, leaders should be that within, internal. As education undergoes a rapid transformation,
Mm.
school leaders play a pivotal role in shaping the institutions that are resilient, innovative, and future ready. To prepare schools for the next decade or next few years, leaders must move beyond administrative routines and embrace visionary, agile, and human centered practices. Just creating brochures, making certain vision statements, that's not enough. Just preparing curriculum. So we need to go with a vision. How should a curriculum look like? First, leaders must cultivate a clear future focused vision. And when you say clear, we know, we manifest it with teachers and our children, and they also understand next 5 years how it could be. This involves anticipating global trends. Sorry, just 1 minute.
Yes, sir. No worries. Meanwhile, I'll also request everyone who has joined the session to drop their questions. We're going to take the questions post the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. So it involves anticipating global trends like AI integration, digital learning, sustainability, mental well-being, and aligning school strategies to meet emerging needs.
Yeah.
Visionary leaders create roadmaps that balance academic excellence with skills like creativity, critical thinking, and global citizenship. Secondly, effective future ready leadership prioritizes teacher empowerment and continuous professional development. Schools that thrive when teachers are motivated, trained, and trusted. Leaders must invest in meaningful capacity building through coaching, collaborative learning communities, and opportunities for innovation in pedagogy and assessment. A critical leadership practice is nurturing culture of innovation and adaptability. The next decade will require schools to respond quickly to technological advances, societal shifts, and unforeseen disruptions. Leaders should encourage experimentation,
Right.
embrace new tools, pilot
Mhm.
encouraging emerging practices and applications, and create safe environment for trying, failing, and improving. Equally essential
Mhm.
is promotion of ethical, value-based decision making. Future-ready schools must balance technological growth with human values like
Yeah.
equity, empathy, safety, and inclusion. Leaders must ensure transparent policies on AI use, data protection, well-being, and academic integrity. Additionally, leaders must build strong partnerships with parents, industry, higher education, and community. Such collaboration enriches learning, supports career readiness, and broadens students' exposure to real world opportunities. Finally, a future ready leadership demands emotional intelligence. Leaders must listen more, communicate clearly, support
Mhm.
mental well being, and foster school climate where every stakeholder feels and valued. In sum, the next decade belongs to those schools led by individuals who are visionary, empathetic, tech aware, innovative, and deeply committed to student growth, staff welfare, and holistic development.
Lovely, sir. I think that's a good summarize where you had highlighted the future leaders have to be visionary, empathetic, student-centric, and focus on the holistic development. I think. Thank you, sir, for sharing all the insights. I think with your experience of leading international schools and with your journey, you would have rightfully addressed what kind of skills the leaders has to have, what kind of teachers have to prepare for the future ready schools, and what kind of a curriculum we are going to look into. I have some questions on the chat. I'm going to take the first question. Uh, what do you think? What kind of role parents play in shaping the AI culture? And how much percentage, like how much percent parents are
Shaping,
responsible
is
for
it
the AI
shaping
etiquettes?
AI culture?
Yes,
Okay, okay. I said there isn't anything. Oh, yeah. Today, whatever we do, it is all AI. So there isn't anything called AI culture. It is a school culture. It is oral culture.
right,
Uh,
right, sir.
First of all, we need to keep ready parents with a vision of the school. And you are already using your school technology, maybe various apps, maybe you are using even AI. Simple, you can, whatever we do, AI is used for enhancing. It is not for doing something copying or maybe for general academic use. It is, we need to be very, very clear. When we call parents, maybe simple meeting, you have got online meeting. Today, it happens earlier, we had to wait for manual meeting. Now, virtual meetings can happen. You want to communicate to a child, to the parent. You need not wait for a physical meeting to happen. You can just call through a Zoom meeting or through Teams or any other tool which you have. So you connect with the parent. So you are using AI. So you would like to give a report to the parent. What happens? Maybe a good report. Maybe there is a compliment. Maybe any other feedback you want to communicate. You are able to do that. Maybe you need not wait for the PTM to happen. So there are various other ways. Maybe somewhere you find a child does a mischief. Generally, for mischief, we communicate immediately. But when
Right.
there are compliments, we wait. So you communicate the compliment to the parent. See, you get the compliments from the parent side in multiple fold. So we need to make it a culture, not just announcing in the assembly. You also need to give a call. Okay, we appreciate your child has done this. Maybe a message, or once if there is, I understand teachers are busy, but a call from a great teacher, a class teacher, going to the parent, just complimenting, it makes all of difference. So somewhere we falter as teachers in our AI use. Now parents are also going to compliment. So it is all together. Maybe neither parents know everything, nor teachers know everything. We all put together. We need to collaborate. It's not that we need to make a separate culture for AI. It should be the normal culture. We should go on. We move with the culture. We move with the
Right,
flow.
sir.
Things happen and we adapt.
Certainly, certainly. I think that's a great highlight. I think in the past conversation, how you highlighted how subjects can't operate in silos. It has to be interdisciplinary for the future world. The same way, basically nurturing a child and the development of a child also doesn't happen in silos. There are multiple stakeholders are part of it. Important
True.
stakeholders are parents, then you have school, then you have the society. So as much the schools are responsible for sensitization of AI tools in ethical manner, parents are equally responsible because a fair amount of time the students spend in their respective home, and we have addressed this our parents are the first teachers. So the kind of lessons they learn from their like the it's a mimic. I think upbringing is all about mimicking. Like students, children see what their parents have to do. So the positive reinforcement, I think the positive reinforcement part and how you sensitize your students of using AI tools, the kind of respect you show to your teacher is going to be reflecting the same way your students so your child shows to the same ecosystem. So I think that's a great highlight. I think the second question we have, it's a very, I think it's a question of the hour. Ki how do school manage the students when they're using AI for homework? because we see a lot of students using AI for completing their homework. So how do you deal with it?
First of all, it is very difficult to stop from children using AI. So, first of all, we as teachers need to be true to ourselves. How to we will be using AI in our work? There's nothing wrong in using AI. If they use
Certainly.
ChatGPT, let them use. But if they use for copying, then something
Mhm.
wrong. Using AI
Right.
is nothing wrong. So they learn new things. Allow the children to explore. If you don't allow them to explore, but AI should not make them lazy.
Right.
If it is helping them to make lazy, you need to guide them. So you need to give questions in such a way they explore. If you ask a repetitive, informative question just with a knowledge base, so the information is easily they just put a question and information comes. You put a question in such a way where AI also has to think. You come to know, okay, this answer, all experience, AI cannot give you experience.
Hmm.
Okay, AI can give you an answer based on data. So the very moment when you ask a question depends on the teacher how you frame a question. You give a question which is based on experiential learning. AI
Right.
will not give you apt answer because
Right.
experiences differ. Because even the type of language AI gives is more or less routine. It is boring type of language. You come
Sometimes
to know
it's mechanical and robotics. Like it's very
it's
repetitive. It's very
monotonous.
repetitive. Yeah.
You come to know where the child is picked up. But don't discourage the child. But if he has copied the content, copied the steps, then you need to guide the child. Because
Got
when
it.
we are living, we are asking the fish living in the water. Yes, I know that you use the deeper water. You should have in shallow water. If the fish has to get into a deep ocean, it has to get into the deeper water, not in the shallow water. So we are living in the, we must understand the reality and guide. But in the meantime, ethical use is very important.
Certainly, certainly. I think that's a great example. Also, I can recollect a good conversation from an educator recently where he highlighted a very important aspect. It's very simple. Like if you have an iron tool, like an axe, if you don't use the axe for a longer period of time, it's gonna create a jung, right? It's gonna create a rust, and then again you have to sharpen the axe. So it's very simple with the human brain. If you're going to rely for everything to be used by your, if you're going to rely for everything to be used by your chat GPT or AI tools, then the idea, then your brain would be junked. Like your brain would get rushed. So you are going to again use your brain to sharpen that. So it's better,
Yeah,
you,
one thing, can I just add? I want to make
sure,
it
sure,
very
sir.
clear. AI gives you based on the algorithm, based on the data which is already available.
Hmm.
AI doesn't create.
Create
It
new points
gives you
later.
from the research which is already available. Maybe create something which is new. The AI will not give you. So, yeah, so please understand. Maybe 2,000 people are giving a false answer, and everyone feels that is the right answer. AI will make it correct because
Certainly.
AI gives you searches from the available data. You ask something related to Vedas, AI will not give you all the correct answers there because the research about ancient Indian scriptures, Indian books is not so much. What is
Hmm.
available, it will give you. Ask certain questions which is not available, not readily available, AI may not be able to give you. So
Certainly,
this
sir.
way, you need to be very, very clear. AI is not going to give you correct information. AI is going to give you information which is available.
Right.
Yeah.
Certainly, sir. I think that that's a good summarize of the whole discussion what we had today. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your insights, clear and clearful and forward-looking perspective with us about the future ready school. Your thoughts on AI readiness, then the future ready curriculum, evolution like capacity building for teachers, the leadership skills is going to really helpful for the schools and the educators who are going to watch us to prepare the students and their teachers for the uncertain times ahead. We are grateful for your time and wisdom, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to our audience who have joined us on ViewTV. Stay tuned for more conversations. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. And God
Thank
bless you.
you.